Madame Duprés Haus. Dann gehen wir rein. Und dann geben wir dem doch einfach mal die Drugs.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
Stimm mal ins Bild.
You'll never believe what I found in your family's tomb.
Oh? Was it a ghost?
No, it was these vigor pills. You wouldn't happen to know how they got there, would you?
I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
Look, Andrew, I'm in no mood for games.
Was wir hier machen, ist höchst illegal. Ich habe keine andere Wahl, als sie bei der Polizei anzuzeigen. Ich bin gewillt, über ungesetzliche Aktivitäten hinwegzusehen, wenn Sie im Gegenzug kooperieren. Schweigen Sie einfach und nehmen Sie eine dieser Pillen. Hier.
Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
I suppose one would help. Thank you. My goodness, I always forget how fast those pills work. My heart is racing. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already. We mustn't waste any more time.
Well, that seems to have done the trick. I just hope we haven't doomed him to a heart attack.
Madame Duprés, ja, das können wir jetzt mit ihm quatschen.
What can you tell me about Madame Duprés?
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that wretched bastard Martin did to her. Mother is kind and generous, and everyone loves her. She's even good enough to hire actual people to do the housework. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines or hire servants to operate the manual ones.
Über ihn selbst.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see me finish.
Wird immer mehr. Jean?
I take it Jean is your stepfather.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died of consumption.
My condolences. Do you have a good relationship with him?
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral, I hadn't seen him at all this month.
Where is he now?
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely he's at his hunting cabin.
His hunting cabin?
Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and spending time with his thoughts. Considering what Mother just went through, well, I would guess that's where he's gone. Although, to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her time of need.
Why do people run away from their problems instead of facing them? Why, Miles?
Do you know where this cabin is?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions, so I never cared much to accompany him on his outings.
Gut, Aufgabe notiert. Okay, Juliette, ihre Schwester. Wir müssen mal jemanden fragen, das eventuell wissen könnte. Ich habe so einen Verdacht, was den Arzt betrifft. Irgendwie, das setzt ihn unter Drogen. Weiß nicht, könnte auch der Arzt sein. Aber den Gärtner muss man auch noch finden. Na, schauen wir mal. Und den Stiefvater. Aber wie gesagt, vielleicht weiß ja Juliette, wo die Jägerhütte ist. Die fragen wir natürlich dann wieder als nächstes. Oder wir fragen bei unserer Infoquelle nach.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliette?
Juliette, smart as a whip and just as forgiving. She's a fighter, that one. Despite being the only woman in her class, she's managed to rank at the top.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliette going to university. But you don't want to hear about boring family matters, I'm sure.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
Viel schlimmer andere dran sind, ja, das ist allerdings richtig. Über den Tod von Duprés, ihrer Mutter.
What exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined her and pronounced her dead. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine health. In fact, she'd just been out riding that morning. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to life.
Ihr Diener?
What's your relationship with the servants like?
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though, the kitchen girl and the gardener.
Albert Martin.
How is it you know Albert Martin?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet does her research. The 2 of them were involved romantically, and Mother didn't like that at all. I heard their fights, they were ghastly.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened to your mother?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts of awful things to our kind. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
Das Geschäft mit den Pillen.
So, you're running some kind of pill business on the side.
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life is as lucky as I am. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Medicine should be affordable to all. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be difficult without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students, and sell them at a much more reasonable price, why shouldn't I?
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like Mother. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral. I can think of plenty of examples where the opposite is true.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
The sad part is, it's true.
Ja, das stimmt. Du hast mit dem Papagei. Frag mich nach dem Papagei nach, aber ja, okay, von mir
That's a
aus.
rather exotic bird you've got.
Yes, Ray is nice when he's quiet. But get him started and it's tough to shut him up.
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach him a few new ones, though.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Gehen wir zum Papageien, aber gibt's jetzt neue Sprüche?
Probably want to cry.
Nothing!
Pieces of
Okay.
So,
Gut. Dann müssen wir halt zu Juliet. Mit ihr quatschen. Karte. Juliet. Die eventuell was weiß. Das geht auf jeden Fall.
hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Jean Debré. Ihren Blüte?
Is there anything you can tell me about your stepfather,
Nee,
Jean?
Stiefvater war's. Ups.
He's a kind man. I don't really see him too often. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder if he feels the same way as I do about her death.
What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's marriage isn't as perfect as they'd like it to appear.
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys hunting. Do you know where his cabin is?
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp. I went out there with him a few times, but I didn't really enjoy it. Frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies staring at you with their cold, dead eyes. Plants are much nicer to have around. Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left. That's it.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery. No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Dann wissen wir jetzt, wo wir hin müssen. So, dann kurz Notizbuch. Hier. Bewohner von Debré, Herrenhaus befragen. Da sind wir noch dabei. Grab mal der Chestertons untersuchen. Albert Martins Mutter eine Nachricht überbringen. Ursache des Konflikts von Juliette und ihrer Mutter finden. Ja, im Grab waren wir doch. Alles untersucht.
Looks like people have left markings and all. You may think.
Hab ich was vergessen? Vor allem finde ich schön, dass hier eine Aussparung ist, ne? Das ist echt toll gemacht. Nö. Okay, dann gehen wir mal zur Karte, zur Jagdhütte. Klopf, klopf.
Hello? Is anyone here?
Strange of Dupré to leave the door unlocked. Maybe it means he'll be returning soon.
Schrank.
Let's see if Jean has anything interesting in here.
Not very much, except a letter.
Lieber Sean, vielen Dank für deine Hilfe. Es ist nicht zu fassen, dass Mutter wirklich wollte, dass ich von der Uni geschmissen werde. Einfach unglaublich, sorge dich nicht. Ich werde ihr nicht sagen, dass du die Direktion der Uni umgestimmt hast. Ein Anlauf, ein Leben zu ruinieren, erreicht schon. Juliette. Oh, also bis jetzt hat die Juliette im Grunde einen Grund natürlich, ihren Freund hat einen Grund und vielleicht auch der neue Mann. Ausgestopftes Kissen, Jagdausrüstung.
Satchels, boxes, and other assorted boring things for hunting.
Kroko.
I had a nasty run-in with an alligator when I was a child. One less in the world doesn't really bother me, to be honest.
Mhm.
An absolute bore.
Das ist ein Wildschwein.
Are these even native to New Britannia?
Aha. Leere Flaschen.
It seems Mr. Dupré is a Bollingworth man. Maybe he's not so bad after all.
Aha. Bärenfell.
Not a very dignified end for our friend Mr. Bear.
Da fehlt eine Waffe, es gefällt mir
You
nicht.
really have to wonder about someone who chooses to surround themselves with dead things.
Weiß ich auch nicht, aber hier
One of the
fehlt
guns
eins.
is missing. Jean must be out using it currently.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Jean Dupré, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Forgive my rudeness, but you startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupré.
This is a man whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite.
Ah, okay.
Jean probably wouldn't appreciate you snooping through his things while he's watching.
Ja, wir haben ja schon durchsucht. Das war zum Glück unser Vorteil gerade.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupré?
I suppose so. Yes.
Mhm. Erzählen Sie noch mal was über Ihre Frau, Herr Dupré.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupré?
Oh, my dear wife. The past few days have been just awful for all of us.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
For 7 wonderful years. Laura and I are just as much in love now as we were on the day we married.
Lord, does he actually expect anyone to believe that nonsense?
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupré, but why are you out hunting and not at your wife's side?
Excuse me? Who are you to lecture me on my marriage?
A fellow married man, that's who. Your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home caring for her?
But with all the confusion at the house with the police investigating and her being attended to by her doctor, I just needed to get away for a bit. Surely you can understand, Mr. Fordham.
There's something off about this guy, Miles. He's definitely hiding something. And for once, I don't think it's from his wife.
Mhm. Über den Tod von Dupré.
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupré's death?
Horrible. Simply horrible.
Do you have any idea why Mr. Martin might have attempted to kill her?
Mr. Martin? You mean the boys they arrested? Andrew said it's because Martin and his mother are witches who prey on the well-to-do. You only need to take one look at him to see his trouble. It's a shame they put him away so quickly. I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, believe you me.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cower in the corner, most likely.
Ja, diese Zwischenkommentare. Er kommt mir aktuell auch ein bisschen komisch vor. Ich weiß allerdings auch, was natürlich auch sein kann von dem Andrews. Oh, ist hier halt los? Heute irgendwie brutal müde. Könnte natürlich auch die Mutter sein. Theoretisch. Dass sie es abstoßend, abscheulich fand, dass sie das getan hat. Die Köchin jetzt, bis sie jetzt die Juliette war, nicht Juliette war das nicht, die andere auf jeden Fall, oh sorry, Alina oder wie die hieß, die denke ich bis jetzt nicht, die macht mal bis jetzt den unverdächtigsten Eindruck von allen.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy hunting, Mr. Dupré?
Yes, I do. I consider myself something of an outdoorsman, you see. It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being sat at the bank all day.
What about your home life?
Truth be told, I'm not at home as often as I'd like to be. I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes up. Business is business, after all.
Yeah, but what business are we talking about here exactly?
Mhm. Und wie steht's um ihre Stiefkinder?
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see a bright future ahead for both of them.
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine. Why do you ask?
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. We don't spend much time together. But they're both so busy with school, I don't want to get in their way. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for considerable periods of time.
Excuses, excuses. I get the feeling Mr. Dupre avoids his family on purpose. But why?
Kleiner Drogendealer vielleicht, wer weiß, Juliets Brief.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. If she wants to study, she should be free to do so. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to disregard the previous request for withdrawal.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all hypocrites in one way or another.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
Mr. Fortan, sehr lieb von Ihnen. Ich will dir das nicht übergeben.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Ja?
Did your mother try to get you withdrawn from the university?
As a matter of fact, she did. Just another one of the many ways she tried interfering with my life.
What happened, exactly?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be withdrawn. I found out about it when the enrollment office contacted me. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake, but then they showed me the letter.
I take it you were upset.
More than upset, Mr. Fordham. I was furious. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or debutante balls or fending off suitors. I'd been given the chance to make something of myself, and Mother was ready to bring it all crashing down, just because she didn't agree with it.
But in the end, you're still here.
Yes, Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him. I'm afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to fix things after that.
Ja.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind,
Das ist
I have work to
interessant
do.
alles.
Fordham, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying? Of course you are! Madame Dupre has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin, hence they're falling out.
Ja.
Plus, the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, seems awfully suspicious. It's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
Notizbuch. Dokumente, Verdächtige, Juliet, ja. Hinweis für Aussage, die Pinzette. Juliets Aussage. Dupré Herrenhauses. Haben wir ja. Also sie ist bis jetzt verdächtig auf jeden Fall, das ist natürlich safe. Wir sind jetzt gerade an der Uni. Wir könnten dann noch zu ihr mal gehen. Vielleicht können wir mit ihr noch was reden. Nee, das war die falsche.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Ja.
Please be my guest.
Jean Dupré.
Tell me what you know about Jean Dupre.
I'd rather not speak of him. Madame Dupre does not need to be agitated any further.
I take it you don't look very favorably upon him then.
I'll just say this. If my wife had been attacked and left for dead, you can be sure I wouldn't leave her side.
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women who aren't his wife.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Ja, alles gut.